So spring has finally arrived, I believe. Actually, today when I looked at the thermometer, it was at 27 degrees Celsius already, which is summer temperature. So a week ago we had sleet, rain, and a foot of snow. And this week already we have summer temperatures. This might also be a false spring, so there might be some cold weather still coming in, we don't know. But it is actually starting to turn really hot. But spring has arrived, and nothing says new beginnings like starting seeds. This is always the fun part in starting your new season, and seeds always reminds me of, new hopes, new dreams. Always starts with something small, but then it can grow into this luscious, beautiful thing that sustains you. So I'm just taking my wife's flowers and putting that one side, and I'm just going to work through some of the seeds that we are starting. Speaking of new beginnings, our online shop, BagIt Enterprises, or you can find it at www.bagitenterprises.com. We are still having just a bit of snacks on that before it will be completely. It is already online, but there's a payment problem with the BagIt a setting or something that needs to be corrected, and we are working on that. But hopefully, the shop will be up and running very soon. And as we go through this video with our seed starting, I will also mention some of the products that will be available on our online store as well. So thank you for your support in that as well. So here's my little old ice cream tray full of seeds, and I'll show you how I kick off my growing season. So last week, which will then be week 1 of our 2026-2027 growing season. Last week I kicked off with some direct sowing in our garden. And there's also a couple of seedlings that I started in the seed trays in the greenhouse here. The cabbages, asparagus and rhubarb. Although the cabbages sprouted, but I'm still waiting on the rhubarb and asparagus to sprout on this side, and the rest was sowed directly into our raised bed garden, and then in the herb garden on the right. All seeds that are directly sown, and I'll give an update on how the germination is going there as well. Okay, and now for the seed starting in the trays that we've got here. I did my planning and I put it out on an Excel spreadsheet here in front of me, and I will, yeah, basically I just basically determined how many plants would be necessary to feed my family of four with some fresh produce, and then also a bit of extra to have it preserved or frozen away, packed away to carry us through the winter months as well. Some of those seeds will be ready to start in seed trays, but not ready. It's still too cold outside to direct sow or to have it germinate outside, and with the threat of frost and the ground temperature still too low, we can have failed crops. So it is safer and easier to start it indoors or in your greenhouse. And that is what we will be doing today. On the other hand, it might also be a bit too early for some of that unless you use heat mats. I'm not using heat mats, but I've got my little greenhouse here in our sunroom, and it gets some nice afternoon sun either from this side or the late afternoon from that side, and that warms up the greenhouse and this area a bit, and that will help with germination as well. So I've got some sweet peppers, celery, hot peppers, sliced tomatoes and cherry tomatoes that we can basically start. There's a couple of things more that we can start, but I don't have seed for that, like the shallots, lemon balm and gooseberries. But I'll see what seeds I've got available and we'll start on those. So over here we've got our transplant mat. The sides clip up to each other and it will hold water. It's watertight, and yeah, it just makes no mess, no fuss workspace for you to do your transplants. Then these seedling trays are also available on our online store, BagIt. I've already had a couple of seasons out of these ones, so some of them are a bit older and I see some of them start to perish now, but I like to, because it's plastic, I try to reuse it as much as possible and get more than one season out of it. There we go. This year I'm not using a specific seed starting mix, but I am using some rather fine sifted compost that I got from a local nursery, but they make their own compost. It's not just a bigger piece here and there, but it's not these bulk manufactured compost that was bought in. It's something that they make themselves locally, and I like supporting them in that as well. There's another big piece, and with this seed starting mat or transplant mat, it's actually quite nice because it can work a bit rugged and you don't spill everywhere because everything is contained in here, which makes cleanup so much easier, unless I do that. So although this isn't a seed starting mix, my compost is quite fine. It's light and airy, and it's perfect for a good strong germination. But yeah, if you feel, the only difference is should the plant develop and start growing in here, this compost already has nutrients, where mostly your seed starting mix normally don't have any nutrients in it. So probably you'll have to keep an eye on that and transplant when you see that your seedlings are starting to struggle a bit, or you have to add a bit of fertilizer water with the watering so it actually gets some food. This actually works quite well for me. By the time the plant is ready to be transplanted, it is nice and strong and it's got all the nutrients that it needs. Then the seeds. Okay, last year we had a lot of sauce tomatoes, and I expect quite a bit of volunteer plants to come up. I'll just keep an eye on it. So I'm going to focus more on our slicer tomatoes and cherry tomatoes for salads. Slicer tomatoes, I need about 16 plants for my family for the year. So I'm going to use up 2 of these trays. And I've got 2 different varieties here. The one is Moneymaker and the other one is Floridate. So I'm going to have a tray of each of these. The Moneymaker. Something that I did in the past was to plant my seedlings a bit too deep. I'm actually going to, in every cell, have at least 2 tomato plants, but I'm just barely covering them, so the seeds are very shallow, and have it in the cells, like that. At least 2 per cell. And when I find that the germination is good, just want to move that up a bit. If I see that the germination is good and I've got 2 rather strong plants coming up, I'll remove one and let just one grow in a cell. But I'm putting 2 per cell now just to ensure that I've got sufficient germination and enough plants to transplant. The rest of the seed can go back into the packet, and this is Moneymaker tomatoes. So the same with our Floridate tomatoes. That's a bit crowded in there. With some seeds that fell here. One of those things. Floridate tomatoes on this side, and then cherry tomatoes. This is the red cherry sweetie. These came up last season and they were actually quite bigger than what I expected. We are going to need 8 plants of them. There's also quite a bit more seeds than 8 in there, but I'll thin them out when I need to. Just realized I may have pushed those a bit too deep again. Just want to get them under the soil. And then for our red peppers, I'm going with the California Wonder. I need about, 21 plants for my family. So I'm going to do about 24, because it's something that we actually use quite a bit of. Plus I use it in extra sauces and pasta sauce that we sell at the farm store as well. And then this is supposed to be also California Wonder, but you'll see that Daniel wrote there mystery. That is because last year when we were busy with our seeds, the sweet peppers and hot peppers got mixed up at a stage, the packets fell out, and yeah, we've put everything back together in here. Now in here is mostly your California Wonder. There's also some sweet paprika in there. There's some habanero and some jalapenos in there as well. Or there at least might be. For my hot chili plants, I need about 6. I'm going to go with 8, because I also use that to make sauces. And I overwintered my Carolina Reaper, as well as the Hungarian Black, the Dragon's Breath, the sweet red hot cherry. What was it? Carolina Reaper, Dragon's Breath, Hungarian Black, sweet red cherry, and then there's another one. I can't remember which one is that. Seems like in the last week I may have lost the Hungarian Black and the sweet red cherry, but I'll give them another week or 2 to see if they recover. but the Carolina Reaper seems to do well. And to have some habaneros and jalapenos as well won't hurt. So I'm going to use the mystery seed to see what we actually get. So I'm going to go for the full 32 on these mixed peppers. I'm really hoping for some of the paprika to take some other seeds in here as well. So a bunch of mystery peppers. And then just to make sure that I do have sweet peppers, I'm going to go with 8 California Wonders that I know is for certain. So our mystery peppers. California Wonder. There we go. So then we are just going to water them in. A gentle mist should be enough, but I'm just going to use the jug and just gently water them in. You don't have to flood them, just enough water to wake them up. Oops. And luckily again here with the seed or transplanting mat, if you go a bit heavy with the water, it's fine because the mat is waterproof and it will contain the water as well. I'll go a bit heavier on the watering to ensure that my compost is nice and moist. Then I'll let it stand for a couple of minutes just to absorb the water, and then I'll move it into the greenhouse. I'll just finish up with my drinking water here as well. There we go. And it's just a quick tip to label your trays right away. Trust me, if they first start sprouting, you won't know what is what. So it's better to have it labeled and ready. I've made so many mistakes in the past, so I'm trying to be quite diligent in marking my trays, labeling my trays. There we go. It seems like all the seeds are nice and covered. You don't need to compact it too much. So the next thing I want to do here is to move the seed trays into the little greenhouse here. This greenhouse will also be available on our online store, and this is the cabbage that I've started a week ago. You can see it started to get a bit leggy, so I added a light. It's not a full spectrum light, but at least it helps a little bit. And I'm just going to transplant these seedlings into another pot as well. So let me get these out. And I have the rhubarb and eggplant here at the back. California Wonder. And then here we go again. Some of these small pots also available on our online store. This one actually, it's not going to make it. It snapped. Got a bit too leggy. So that. Let's just water these in as well quickly. Some of them I left to in a tub just to ensure that should some of them die off, I've got enough. But if there's too many, I'll obviously remove some of them. See how well draining the soil is? There we go. And I'm just going to leave them a while to settle and drain through before I move them into the greenhouse. There we go. I label them cabbage, and then I just stick them in little rows here as well. And then see how quick and easy cleanup is with this. Let's take this away, and this I carry it outside and just rinse it off with the hose pipe. No mess, no fuss. Let's just clean up. That must mess a bit here, but it's still easy to clean up. There we go. So tiny seeds like these. Look how tiny they are. Tiny seeds bring big dreams. It's true for your garden, and it's also true for your life, for your achievements. Just you need to cultivate the seed and tend to it. And if you do that diligently, you will reap reap your harvest. Thank you for spending time with me today. We love you and we appreciate you. See you in the next one. Goodbye.